Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello. Is anybody out there? Remember that part from Dawn of the Dead? Hello. Seriously though, is this working? Can anyone hear me? If you can hear me, join the chat and tell me that you can hear me. Chisa is not here today to tell me that it's not working. You know? So I need you to tell me that it is working. Okay? Man. So angry. So angry. But I don't want to be angry. Doing so many things with this phone right now. I want to look at other stuff, you know? But like, have you ever looked at your phone and just like the way it was resting and you were like looking at it lovingly and you were just thinking like, I wish I could take a picture of my phone, you know? Like I wish I could capture the beauty of my phone. It's kind of like wishing you could step outside of yourself and, you know, see a video of your dreams, or it's that part of yourself that's like self-aware that you are completely living in the moment. And you're like, that's a paradox. I can't be objectively living in the moment and at the same time completely aware that I am currently living in the moment. Because just that level of awareness is alienation and separation and detachment. You know? You know what I'm saying? And I'm so mad at Glenn Beck, okay? Like, he says he wants the economy to continue and he's willing to die for the economy to continue. And on one level, I agree. I want him to kill himself. You know? I want him to kill himself. And I think if he does kill himself, the economy would do better. America would be better off. He would, in some small regard, save the country by killing himself. And I want him to kill himself. I just don't think it's logical for your method to be the spread of coronavirus. Like killing yourself by way of Holocaust seems super selfish. And obviously, as much as it would be better for the country and the world for Glenn Beck to kill himself, I think the Holocaust would far probably outweigh the benefits, you know, that the country would see from Glenn Beck killing himself. You know what I mean? It's like when capitalists for the last century, you know, in the last century kept, you know, fighting quote unquote communism. And by that, I mean like killing villagers and shit and farmers, you know, at least at that point, they were fighting some ideal for another ideal, you know, at least that made a little more sense. Now these people like Glenn Beck, they're not willing to sacrifice farmers and villagers for their level of capitalism. Now they want to fucking sacrifice Americans. They want to sacrifice unfettered capitalists for the sake of capitalism. You know? It's insane. How can there be capitalism without capitalists? Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. If you ever wanted to take a picture of your phone, you know? Have you? I don't know that I Okay, I have. Clearly, that comes from somewhere, you know? I've wanted to take pictures of my phone. I have. I've wanted to take a picture, maybe of your phone. I don't know. Take a picture of anybody's phone. I just can't take a picture of my own phone. Because that's where the camera is, people. That's where it is. I'm going to tell you right now, this person's not going to pick up. Okay? That's how you start Mondays off. You call somebody who's not going to pick up. Not only is the weird conservative fake martyrdom weird,
your call has been forwarded
but
to
it's
an
also
automated
weird to
voice
me
message.
that so many people's lives are going on pretty well right now. I can't tell you how many times I've tried to schedule something spur of the moment, some kind of Netflix party, and people are telling me, how's Wednesday? And I'm like, what? You're busy? How is everybody busy? I guess people are actually working their jobs, which, I mean, that's good. I'm glad somebody's working a job, you know? I'm not. But you got to keep the economy going. By the way, the economy doesn't exist. Can we agree on that? That the economy isn't real?
Hello.
Hello, Charles. How you doing?
Good.
You're not in a
What can I
car
do
this
you
time.
for? I'm not in a car this time. I was just about to be.
Oh, you were? You going to the test station again?
No. I was gonna go. I'm gonna go run some errands.
Oh, by the way, you are on What You Up To, in case you didn't ascertain that.
I mean, I'm not going to go run some errands.
Well, I'm sure they're essential errands. I know for
Yeah,
a fact that friend of the show, Nate, went to do some laundry yesterday. And you got to do laundry.
Oh.
You got to sterilize, right?
True. You gotta sterilize. You gotta do laundry.
Hey, guess what? I found out, or didn't find out. Didn't find out per se, but it seems like actually they're not sure if you can get it twice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it seems like the tests themselves aren't 100% reliable, and so they're thinking perhaps it was in the very rare cases where it looked as if people have gotten it twice. They wonder if maybe it was just a false negative or false positive test.
Oh, okay. That's really good to know then, because I was freaking out and wondering how long this would last for.
Well, then it feels infinite at that point. It just feels
exactly.
Again, if that were the case, I feel like, maybe, ooh, my connection is unstable. Oh, but now it's stable. Anyway, but it almost feels like you wouldn't even want to know that. What errands you got going on?
I was just gonna go to the post office and drop off some mail. I started doing snail mail to try to communicate with people.
Yeah. Well, that's good. You
Yeah.
got to do that. I got letters from my niece and nephew. One asking me please to believe in Jesus, and the other one just telling me straightforward, believe in Jesus.
Nice.
And honestly, Charles, if you can get it twice, I'm gonna believe in Jesus.
Oh man.
That's where I'm headed. That's where I'm going. Anything fun going on? You live in a compound.
Fun.
Are you guys doing okay?
Yeah, we're doing all right. I'm gonna try to make some pickled red onions tonight.
Nice.
But I gotta go get onions.
Yeah.
And like vinegar and stuff. So I'm
primary ingredient.
Yeah, primary ingredient. Definitely essential.
I did that for a while, and I can tell you, I assure you, it is worth it because it's really easy, and then it's like such a nice little treat on like a sandwich or so many different
Oh
kind of
yeah,
dishes to just grab some
totally.
fresh pickled onions. Whoo!
Hmm.
That really does it.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I gotta do it, man.
You got to do it.
I gotta do it. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I can't have these pickled onions, you know?
No. Are you guys how how are you if ever okay, so there's a big group of you. How are you doing like food? How do you normally do food in your apartment? If you don't mind me asking.
So
Like everyone get their own groceries, community groceries.
yeah, so typically everyone kind of does their own thing. Everyone gets their own groceries. Um, and then like we sometimes, you know, Carlene will make like a big batch of uh, of food. Like they will either like make a whole big thing of soup, and then everyone gets to have some, or they order out. So it's like, you know, sometimes we order out, and sometimes TJ makes a big pot of stew.
Sure.
Um, you know, Scott is usually Scott and Jocelyn kind of do their own thing. Um, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
got you. So for the most part, you're pretty much just kind of getting your own groceries, except for the case where you like order a community pizza or a big bowl of stew. But
yeah.
but like, so is it like harder now with like is everyone kind of stocking up a little bit more or no?
Um,
Is everyone just going once a week, the prescribed amount of groceries shopping
so I think I've definitely been shopping more.
than normal because you're cooking more than normal?
Yeah, I'm like, we're snacking more than normal too. So I've been buying a
Yeah,
lot more snacks,
yeah,
and I
totally.
usually get snacks for like everyone. So I want, you know, it's not just me. So um, usually whenever we get snacks, like open game, everyone's just kind of sharing at this point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, everyone in the house eats meat, but I'm trying to be pescatarian, vegetarian, so people kind of respect my fish stuff that I have out.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So how are you doing? How's it going? How's it going over there?
Oh, it's pretty good. I finally started like writing more, which is a nice kind of escape from the world that also makes me feel
Oh
like I'm
yeah.
accomplishing something. But
Hmm.
I also am getting very mad at our local government right now.
Oh my
So
God.
I'm really
Yeah.
trying to not I will do like news in the morning, which will really rile me up, and then I'll try to just do a bunch of push-ups and go on a long walk and then not engage with the news too much. But I
Yeah.
feel that I will probably be making calls to local government answering machines that will probably not be heard today just because I'm so mad at city council. But I don't know. I'm doing I. I'm doing pretty good. I think I'm gonna cook some bread today. I think I'm gonna bake some
Oh, nice.
bread. That
Oh
always
yeah.
makes me feel a little better. Having
Hmm.
bread around is
Yeah.
delicious.
I've been all about bread lately.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of that bread.
Yeah. Yeah, comfort foods are
Um.
great. Made a bunch of
Hmm.
pasta last night.
Yeah. I'm trying to call the LA County Board of Supervisors today.
Yes.
Got to call them. Got to tell them that people are going to be in debt
Yes.
and they're going to owe rent money and they're going to get evicted once the moratorium is over.
Yeah.
And oh yeah,
Yeah, they couldn't even pass the moratorium. Yeah, there's nothing. So, um yeah, it's really strange the way that people are worshiping capitalism right now as if it will go on despite the fall. It like literally, I feel like these people think that like capitalism will exist if everyone dies. Like first came capitalism, and then humanity formed from the fishes in the
Yeah.
sea. It's
Yeah,
insane.
exactly.
Like, have you ever heard the theory that like the moon, like, okay, so you know how the moon, like, during an eclipse, it lines up perfectly with the sun,
Yeah.
and you know how that's like an insane coincidence.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane, right? It's like the kind of thing that a person
Oh,
who believes in
absolutely.
God will be like, that sort of symmetry must be an act of creation. And then like people who think that like life exists only on this planet, um, or that it's very just a rare form of life, will tell you that like the moon, you know, it that is one of the variables that is necessary to lead to life. Like the moon has to be that exact distance and that ratio away from the Earth compared to that ratio away from the sun, so
Yeah.
as to stir the oceans up and heat the oceans to a level that will create conscious life.
Oh,
And in
yeah.
that
Totally.
sense, I think that these people, our city council, think that capitalism is just like the moon in that it leads to conscious life in their minds, and therefore is more important to preserve than humanity itself. It seems like.
Yeah. I feel like people have spent like so much time and effort building whatever they want to build, right? And
Yeah.
they and they want to hold on to it.
Yeah.
It's like hard for them to let go of things that they've built, and it's like they just can't let go of it, and so people who are ahead don't want to give up that power because they feel like
Sure.
they've worked so hard to get it. But in reality, they're stepping over people to get where they're at, and they don't recognize that, and they refuse to acknowledge it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that. It's like, yeah, they have always been stepping over people. And so this has not been enlightening to them,
Yeah, no.
essentially.
For them, it's just a way to stir a panic and try to figure out how to make money in all of this.
Yeah, exactly. Um, you reading any books?
Mhm. Oh my god! So my company wants me to read. My company wants me to read this book on how to be an efficient worker or how to run a team efficiently.
Oh, wow. What's it
And
called?
they're like
How to Win
they're
Friends and
prescribing.
Influence Workers?
Yeah, pretty much. They're prescribing me this book so I could further educate myself so that I can do my job better, and understand processes better and learn how to control my, contemporaries. And it's like so obnoxious. It's so annoying, to be like asked to read this during this time of crisis. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, and like people at work are like, so annoying. Like, I don't know. I think I told you this last time, but our company is doing really well.
Yeah.
And so like, there's like people who are like licking their lips and salivating and just like
Yeah.
really excited. Yeah. There's like a big initiative to increase or maintain productivity while working remotely.
Yes.
So like, yeah, so they're asking me to send my metrics over and all that stuff, and it's like,
Yeah.
give me a
Well,
fucking break.
exactly. It's like you said, like if you what people are holding on, like instead of being enlightened that like the things that we've cared about are not as necessarily important in a
Mhm.
crisis scenario. Like you said, for the most part, crisis, or not even the most part, because there's so many millions and millions of people who are doing the right thing. And who's to say what the right thing is? But in a crisis situation, a lot of people will, like you said, grab onto what's theirs, be that power or be that just a job. You know what I mean? Like, I've almost every job I've ever worked, besides like the little tiny bits that I've been able to get paid to do like creative stuff. The vast majority of the work that I've had, I don't really care about. You know what I mean? But like a person who has put their whole life into their job, and I've always seen that at the jobs I have, there are people who really care about them and think of them as essential functions of life. And that's why you have people going to work when they don't even have to, really. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like, it's what they have. It's it's like a meaning thing, and to feel meaningless in a time when when we're all kind of grasping for meaning, would be a nightmare. And that's why you've got to read that book, Charles. I expect a full report. How long is it?
Honestly, I really don't know. It's like there's like 32 chapters, and it's like a nonfiction book.
Yeah, of course.
Well, no, sorry, it's not a nonfiction. It's a fiction book.
Oh, it is?
In a way, yeah, it's a fiction book, and it applies like all the rules of like my job to this. Some guy who like came up with this process of working. He decided to write a fiction book where he puts all these scenarios that my job goes through. He puts all these scenarios in like just I guess different ways to like illustrate the point of this process. And it's like so obnoxious to be like asked to read it. And I'm like, like I'm trying to worry about like, paying rent. So I guess I have to read it, right? In order to continue to work and make rent and stuff. So I feel like I shouldn't be complaining about it, but it's like,
yeah, it sounds so obnoxious. And it seems funny when, I always think it's funny when somebody takes some sort of professional work training kind of thing and like tries to turn it into some kind of creative, like fictional story, as if that's like the sugar that gets the medicine down. Like, there's so many, like anytime you've had to watch like a sexual harassment kind of movie thing where they do these like reenactments, like those are always the best videos in the world. I remember when I was a teenager, I worked at a movie theater, and we had a training video. What we were supposed to do if somebody came and like stuck a gun in our face, to rob the movie theater, which never happened. Although one guy I worked with did steal like $2,000 and left. But anyway, what we were supposed to do if somebody came and tried to commit armed robbery against the 16-year-olds that were working the register, we were supposed to say that all the money was in the safe, and that was the code. Mr. Strife.
Yeah, that's I always had a fantasy of like getting robbed when I was working retail.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know, I grew up in suburbia, so like it was just, like really boring.
Sounded wild.
And,
yeah, that's true. A lot of working a register at a lot of stores and stuff, you really get overwhelmed with boredom.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Not busy.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many times where I was like, man, what if there's like a robbery right now? I would just hand him the money, like I'm supposed to do.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I would just like, sure, whatever, take whatever you want. I don't care.
Yeah, 100%. The idea,
when you have those, you have those idle conversations with your coworkers, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, I would knock him out."
Yeah, I would.
Like,
Yeah, I would
what?
karate chop him and do a backflip and yeah. No,
Yeah.
I definitely. And there's also like I remember because you're not supposed to do anything because obviously
Yeah.
it's going to be way worse if you get killed trying to defend the
Mhm.
$40 in the register. But like, and you get paid minimum wage, by the way. And
Oh yeah.
and also usually when I'm working a register, I'm stealing, so I'm part of the
Yeah.
problem already. But
Oh yeah.
I remember at Borders or whatever. I don't know if there are any Borders still open, but Borders bookstores, um, they had a no follow policy. Like you couldn't even like follow anybody there. And I had a friend who would just walk in there and just grab like a handful of books, just like books stacked up to his chin. And he just walked to his car and then he'd drive away.
Wow.
He did this for a while. And then he'd sell them on the internet. This was like back in like 2000 and I don't know, 5 or something.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then they closed down, so I can only assume that it was because of him. You know?
Yeah, your friend single-handedly dismantled Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you should, like, anytime you see like CNN or MSNBC talk about how Jeff Bezos like destroyed brick and mortar bookstores, you can say no. You just call in and you tell them
tell them this story.
Yeah, no, my friend did that.
Yes, he did. I remember my friend had really long hair. Bezos has the opposite of that. So,
yeah.
Well, I don't know. It might have been Bezos overcompensating with a really long wig.
It may be.
Yeah. Well, Charles, am I stopping you from your errands? You want to?
Not really.
Okay.
So you're baking some bread. You're gonna bake some bread today.
Yes, I am
What
gonna.
What kind of bread are you baking?
You know, I don't. I had a sourdough starter, and I think I let it die.
No.
On accident, and so the last bread I baked was like some soda bread, which is really good. But I was thinking about just doing some just real standard, kind of like a white bread, just a simple sandwich bread. But I could also make some focaccia bread. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let the events.
Let the viewer decide.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea. Let's leave it up to the chat room.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, all right, Brian. I don't want to keep you from calling your other guests.
Yeah.
But thanks for calling.
Well, hey, thanks for picking up. Good luck on your errands. And as we like to say here on What You Up To, hold your breath.
I'm holding.
Okay.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Charles. Bye, buddy. Oh, what a good guy. That Charles. I do not know if this person will pick up. I say that every time. I never know if anybody will pick up, of course. But focaccia or just like regular bread. Oh no.
Focaccia or just like regular bread.
What is going on? Whoa. That was so weird. that is a new thing that has happened on this show here. I've never seen that before. Craziness. Okay, so what was I saying before I talked to Charles? So the economy doesn't exist. Okay? Anytime anybody brings up the economy, the only people that talk about the economy or that view the economy as a nuanced, ever-changing, rising and falling thing are people with like summer mansion is just a dead word that translates to zero meaning in their life. For a homeless person, the economy reverse Alex Jones. Your connection is unstable. Well, jump back on.
Hello?
Hello, Gina.
Hi, Brian.
You are on What You Up To. So if you
Oh,
don't
great.
want to talk on the internet, hang up now and I'll talk to you another time.
No, I'm good. I'll talk on the internet.
Oh, that's great because I really wanted to catch up. I feel like I haven't talked to you since like the 70s.
It's true. It's been a really long time.
How are you doing? What are you up to?
I'm doing okay. I'm working from home, so I'm kind of working now. But
How's the biz? Because you are still self-employed, still running your
yes,
own business.
yes, I am.
And how's
It's
that?
okay.
It's okay.
It's not great right now.
Sure.
Like, everything is not great,
Sure.
So, but it's not as bad as it could be. So, I'm feeling positive.
But it's keeping you busy.
Keeping me busy.
Okay. Is it hard to work at home? I mean, I'm sure Kyle's there. Is everybody there? Hold up.
Yeah, everyone's here. Kyle's here, and he has nothing to do.
Yes, I'm in
and
that boat.
Madison's here doing school.
Okay.
On the computer school.
Computer school. What's that look like? Are they like Zoom sessions, or are they just like readings and things?
It seems very laissez-faire so
Sure.
far. Yeah, mostly just readings and stuff. No Skype meetings that I know of.
I'm surprised they didn't just skip to summer vacation. Has there been talks of that?
I think that they're going to stay at home until summer vacation begins.
At least.
I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
How have you been?
Oh, I've been okay. I'm doing this talk show once a day.
How's the talk show going so far?
The talk show is fun. I compare it to a little boy talking into a tape recorder in his closet, pretending to be on the radio.
I used to do that all the time as a kid. Did you do that?
I did. I absolutely did. And then I started playing instruments into the tape recorder. I would also just tape the radio. I would
all the time.
Yeah, like to make cause I would listen to the radio a lot, like pop music when I was like in the late 80s. And on my little radio stereo, there was once I realized I could tape, I was like, oh, I know when a song comes on that I like, I'll hit record and then I'll have a tape of that song that I like. But what inevitably would happen was I liked every song that was on the radio. So I would just tape every song they would play, which if you remember 80s and 90s radio, they were only playing the same songs like every hour. So like I would have a tape of the thing that they were always playing anyway.
I like that. I used to call into the radio stations a lot as a kid. That was one of my main pastimes. I was like considered myself friends with all the radio DJs.
Were you winning like concert tickets and stuff?
Sometimes. Sometimes I won tickets to Warped Tour when I was maybe 14 or so. That was probably the coolest thing that ever happened to me.
I never made it to a Warped Tour. And it will be a regret. No, it's not fine. It will be a regret for the rest of my fucking life. I'll never be able.
You can never go again.
I can. I can't go because of the plague, and also because I'm 37. But it's
it's done. Last year was maybe the year before.
Tours are no longer warped.
No, just yeah. No more warped tours.
Oh, god damn it. That's sad.
I'm sorry. I hate to break this terrible news to you.
It's doubly worse because I didn't never go. What was I doing? I think I saw all of those bands separately, probably.
The Casualties.
Oh, sure.
I definitely saw them play a Warped Tour.
Let's see. What bands did I see? Catch-22.
Yes.
I'm just like blanking on all the bands I used to listen to. Pennywise.
Yeah, great.
No Effects.
No Effects definitely played at Warped Tour. Yeah.
Of course. That was like their tour, I feel like.
Yeah.
So you won tickets to that. Why else were you calling in?
Oh, I think at some point I just discovered you could call in and request songs. And in Erie, Pennsylvania, I don't think they got like a lot of phone calls.
Yeah. I forgot
on
about
the
that
radio.
practice of calling
Yeah,
in.
so I think I would just chat with them, you know.
Yeah. That's
try
cool.
to impress them with cool requests, you know, like
Sure.
request a Green Day song so they would know I was, you know, a cool
Yeah,
guy.
that you were hip and like basically ready to bring down society.
Exactly.
And dangerous. Super dangerous.
So this is kind of taking me back. This is kind of like my dream. Is like I'm being called by the radio DJ.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't even
even
have to
better.
call in.
You're that dangerous.
That's very cool.
Yeah, don't call us. We'll call you. So what do you how are you passing the time beyond once the workday's over, school's out? Are you guys are you watching lots of movies? I
We
imagine
are
that's
watching
a household activity, as it always is.
we've been watching some films. Madison just watched Two-Lane Blacktop for the first time.
Ooh, I love that one.
And she loved it, which was very cool and a little surprising.
Yeah, sure. To me, that's like the better Easy Rider.
Yeah, it's definitely better.
Yeah. Who's in it? James Taylor.
Yep.
And who's the other guy in it? I can't remember.
Oh my god, his name just went right out of my head. Obviously, I know it.
Yeah.
Warren Oates. Warren Oates.
Oh, right. Very musical cast. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great one. Classic. Playing board games.
Which ones?
We have Jurassic Park themed Monopoly.
Oh, that sounds really fun. What's Boardwalk and Park Place?
That was the same question my dad asked me. I described this to him, and I didn't know then, and I don't know now either.
Well, people are going to keep asking.
They'll have to get the game themselves. Google it.
It was probably Board Raptor and Jurassic Park Place.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Okay, good. If it wasn't that, it should be.
Yeah, that's much better than I think what it actually is.
You play it all the way through?
No, of course not. Has anyone ever played that game all the way through?
What we used to do is deal out the properties. You shuffle them up, and you deal them out, and then there's a big trade session right before you start. So everybody's starting with a good set of properties. And you've got your $200 in the bank or whatever, and you can throw some houses on there, and the game goes really fast at that point.
Yeah, so I had never heard of that until we were about halfway through the game, and then found out that was a good way to start the game.
Yeah. But at least you're killing
when I was a kid,
time.
we would just like slide it under a table. We didn't have any pets in the house, so we would just kind of save it and then play it over the course of many days.
Ah, like a chess game between two academics. They only make one move a year.
Yeah, it was a lot like that.
Okay.
But we have cats, so you can't.
Oh yeah, that's not gonna happen.
That.
You'd have to get like a big cake, like a cake covering, big glass cake covering that could cover the whole thing.
Life would find a way.
So Monopoly, big one, Jurassic Park Monopoly. What other one? A lot of people are playing video games, but I'm not a video game house. I don't feel like y'all are a video game house.
We don't have any consoles. Do they still call them that? I have no idea. I'm really out of touch.
I don't know either. I don't even think they have to buy games anymore. I think you just download them.
Download them. Yeah, I play Stardew Valley on my phone.
Okay.
That's my main game right now. It's really nice. It's very relaxing.
Cool.
That's it.
I'm doing Duolingo, which feels very much like a game.
I don't think that counts.
Well, it's like tricking me into learning Spanish. I just feel like I'm playing the game, and like when I'm paying for it. So like if you don't know, Duolingo, like it's to learn languages, and it's an app to learn languages, but it's very much like a game where you're like picking words and pressing them and stuff. And if you don't pay for it, if you use the free version, like if you mess up too many times, then like you can't keep doing it, like 'cause they want you to pay for it. And so and there's also ads and things, and it really slows down the process. So I started paying for it, and it's really fun. But when you pay for it, there's no stakes. You know what I mean? It's less like a game because you can just mess up as much as you want because it's just about learning the language. But if my finger slips and I accidentally hit like check my grammar or whatever when I mean to hit like a word, like I'll go like fuck as if I just like died in the game.
Yeah, it sounds actually similar to the stakes level of Stardew Valley, which is like there are no stakes.
Yes.
Basically.
That's a
like
good
even
game.
when you quote unquote die, you just wake up in the hospital the next day missing some stuff from your backpack, but you're all right.
Yeah.
Just go back to your farm.
Sure. Well, in this day and age, you don't want to wake up in any hospital. Wake up in your farm,
good
maybe.
Point. That's a good point.
How's cooking? That's another big topic.
Oh God, I'm so tired of cooking. It's horrible.
Really?
For me, already cooking is kind of a
chore.
I mean, yeah, I can enjoy it some of the times, but really the part I like best is going to the grocery store. And that part is kind of like the fun is sucked out of it right now. It's kind of scary.
I was definitely going to the grocery store like once a day, where I just be like, out of eggs, walk into the grocery store. Now I'm out of this, walking to the grocery store. And it's really hard to adjust to the idea of like trying to go as little as possible and get like everything at once. Because I always forget stuff.
Of course.
And then it's like all I can concentrate are on the things I forgot. It's like, yeah, I could make 1,000 things, but I don't have maple syrup.
For me, the grocery store is like one of my anxiety safe spaces because you're getting out of the house, so you feel like you're doing something. You're accomplishing like a basic need, you know, food, must have. But also like in the grocery store, you're kind of free to just exist. Like nobody talks to you.
That's true.
Nobody looks at you. You can spend as much time or as little time as you want. You can buy one thing or 100 things. Like it's a very endless possibility scenario. It's a very safe space for me.
That's true. It's super chill, and it's usually very cool.
Yeah,
like literally chill. And yeah, you're right. It is kind of a meditative place because it's like the one aspect of like capitalism that you like need.
Yeah, right.
You
don't have
it's
to feel
like
guilty.
Yeah,
Even if
you don't
spend
feel
like
guilty.
a lot of money. I mean, you have to eat food.
Of
I
course.
mean, how bad can you feel about it?
Of course. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like cooking can easily become stressful. I'm enjoying it, but I do definitely get fed up from time to time.
I heard you started baking.
I've been baking so much. And I think I kind of baked myself out, but I'm about to start back up again. Like, because Chisa was just kind of like the other day, like, yeah, what about some cookies? And I was just like, what? Why don't you do it? What if you were the one who did it? because I don't want it. I don't want to do it. And then she's like out baked me with the cookies. So they turned out way better than the last time I did it. So I was like, okay, I guess I gotta get back on this.
Gotta get back on that
I'm
horse.
losing my, the title I only just got, which was amateur baker.
Amateur baker, bakesmith.
Yeah.
Breadsman.
Yeah, Breadman. Brian Breadman.
Brian Breadman's got a good ring to it. You could have like a YouTube channel that's just that. No cross promotion with anything else. Like just start from 0 subscribers. Brian Breadman. Work your way up.
Yeah, I bet that if I were ever actually going to get any sort of YouTube success, it would totally be something like that. It would be like Brian Breadman, and then like the thing that I would do is I would like bake bread, and then I would like headbutt the bread or something. I'd like kick the bread into the wall, and then I would do it again the next day.
And it would be a viral.
Oh, it would get like 100 million views. Like, I never understand what works or doesn't.
No one does.
No one does. It's that thing where it's like trying to measure an electron, if it just the act of measuring it is going to disturb the outcome. And in the same way, trying to create a viral thing, it's never just saying that out loud, the Breadman scheme. It couldn't possibly work now.
It couldn't. Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah.
Like the other day, there was like a 20 million viewed video of just a person playing guitar along to a song. Like it wasn't like they were just playing chords along to an Oasis song too. Like a band from the 90s. I honestly, like, not to be disparaging to them, they weren't ugly, but they just felt very normal looking. Certainly, I said to myself, is it this person's face? Maybe there's just something compelling about the face. Beauty is truly in the eye of the YouTube viewer.
I always wonder with YouTube in particular, if people are actually watching the videos or if they're just listening to them.
Yeah.
Which I think is a weird,
well, that's what this show is. There's no visual component because I couldn't just talk on the phone, and I would just be like, when I'm staring at doing so many like family Zoom calls, mostly with Chisa's family, it's so hard to not just like look at myself the whole time.
Yeah, I feel like a baby monkey or something.
Yeah, like exactly. I'm like touching my head.
I can't figure out the mirror,
Exactly. I'm like, I should be watching the person who's looking or who's talking, I mean. And no, I'm just pretty much looking over it. I keep glancing back to see what I'm up to.
Yeah, like a stupid little animal. Exactly. I do the same thing.
Exactly. Everybody does. But yeah, so there's no way I could make phone calls and stare at myself for an hour.
No, that would be hard.
It would be impossible to concentrate on the conversation. To be looking at myself.
You could make like a video that's just a static shot of something landscapey or like a room or something, and then the call could go over it.
Well, I could do that. You're right.
I don't know if you're taking constructive criticism.
No, the second there is a second caveat, and it is that the only computer I can get my microphone system to work on doesn't have a webcam. It's not a laptop, and the monitor doesn't have a webcam. And so I just said, screw it. Don't look at the little spinning circle in the middle of the black screen. Just listen to me talk, or don't do anything at all, because really I just need to talk to my friends and see how you guys are doing, because I'm fucking going crazy.
I think it's a great idea. I don't know why I had to try to make it different.
No. Always taking constructive criticism to answer.
It's a terrible impulse.
No, it's really not. That's one thing I actually have to turn off as best as I can, is like being a critical person. you have to learn to not be critical right now. I have to, at least, because I'll have an opinion on everything.
Why do you have to turn that off?
Oh, because I live in a tiny little space with
I see.
someone
It's
else who's
it's
just
like
trying to exist.
it's a cohabitation
Yeah,
problem.
and they
I
don't
gotcha.
need a coach. They just need a friend.
It's hard to learn that. I know what you mean. That's my impulse also, and that's a constant. That's a constant thing to work on for me.
Yeah. Well, look at us learning lessons.
We're trying our darndest out here.
Yeah, absolutely.
How many friends have you found out are crazy anti-vax conspiracy theorists through this?
Oh,
Whole
wow.
crisis?
I never even really
Have you lost
tied.
any friends so far?
Oh, no, luckily. Yeah, I hadn't even considered that. Like, I've been kind of operating under the assumption I've done pretty well over the last decade. Certainly after I stopped drinking and drugging, I have virtually I've eliminated nearly all acquaintances, I would say. At this point, you're either a friend or I'm avoiding you.
Right. Good.
But
Good policy.
I would say that yeah, no, I haven't had that problem. Have you lost? I haven't been like keeping too in touch with non-immediate family. Like, been trying to keep in touch with my immediate family, and that's hard enough. You know what I mean? They're just like
Mm-hmm.
they're they're struggling and they're making it hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
God bless
We have
them.
one friend. We have one friend who turned out to be very weird about the whole thing, pretty unexpectedly.
And this is a Los Angelian?
Yeah, of course it is.
Okay.
Who else would it be?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like gone too far to the left into the realm of conspiracy, and just still going to the beach every day and not really believing that it's that big of a deal and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I find it so frustrating because anytime I just think of that, it's just like it's just gonna stretch it out longer. It's just gonna make it. You know what I mean? It's weird because, like, honestly, I am someone who's been obsessed with conspiracy theories probably since the day I started smoking weed back in the day, and it stayed with me. But conspiracy theories at a certain point, I guess it was around when Obama got elected, just just kept leaning right and kept going to the right and falling down into the pit of the right. And like, it was always kind of back and forth, there was lots of bipartisan conspiracy theories, the Illuminati, that kind of stuff was just like, most of like JFK, like all of the classics felt pretty much removed from partisanship. And now it just feels like they're all to the right.
I think that it actually I think the Obama thing actually just kind of exposed how right leaning all those ones were at their core.
Totally.
The fact that they all lead back to racism and anti-Semitism, and once you learn that, it really kind of sucks the fun out of
absolutely.
into them,
No, absolutely. And a lot of them as well they were getting famous and getting manipulated by the rise of like libertarianism, which I think is a big factor in America in general, when you realize like economically we're fairly libertarian, and then like culturally we're like, I don't know, living under a dictator.
Yeah.
I haven't lost anybody to that yet.
That's good.
Everyone
really good.
I feel like is being good, is doing really everything they can to to stay in and just do what feels kind of like the bare minimum. Just stay in. You're in good company. But how is like your fam handling it?
My what?
Your fam.
My family,
Your
like
fam
my family
out of
back
California, yeah.
They're doing okay. My dad just started working from home part-time, which is really great.
That's good. That's
His
reassuring.
his job is complicated because I guess they have some kind of government contracts that complicate that whole process.
CIA.
So they can't close completely. But my sister is a dental hygienist, and her office is still open and
Ooh.
accepting regular patients. And she's obviously really mad and distressed, and I'm
Yes.
mad and distressed. And she has a toddler at home, so that makes it even more mad and distressing.
Yes. It is my brother-in-law is being forced to go do his job. He does like water purification stuff, like sets up those kind of systems in people's sinks and stuff. And so they're saying it's essential work.
It does sound important.
It's like water filters, though. You know what I mean? It's like reverse osmosis water filters for people.
So it's not like for like cities or.
No, he's not like cleaning the water of an African village or something. He's like going and they're like some of them are just like sales calls. It doesn't make any sense.
Gotcha.
But it is that same kind of thing of just like everybody's in that impossible situation of do I lose my job by doing the right thing? And is it doing the right thing if then you can't support yourself? And it doesn't seem like there's much help. But yeah, well, it sounds like that's what's happening more and more in the kind of Midwestern, middle of America places. More so than here. But I guess there are tons of people working in grocery stores and hospitals and stuff here.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I keep thinking about with like Glenn Beck and stuff. Not to bring it back there, but it's really on my mind of just like, if you're willing to die for the quote unquote economy, which obviously it wouldn't like help the economy if there was a Holocaust. But like if you're just go candy stripe, like just go do it then. Like don't try to tell other people to go back to work. Just go work a register in the middle of the night at the Giant Eagle. Glenn Beck.
Yeah, that's where they need the people. Yeah, Glenn Beck should. I support the theory that Glenn Beck should be working at the grocery store.
Glenn Beck should be working at the grocery store, and or if he really, really wants to die, I do agree that if he died, it would be better for the world. And he should just douse himself in flames and set himself on fire like a monk protesting a war.
But would it help the economy, which is the only thing that obviously anyone cares about?
Yeah, I think it would help the economy. I promise, I vow here on this show, if Glenn Beck, whatever his name is, if he sets himself on fire, I will personally go buy something using Amazon. I'll buy something. I promise.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't say that lightly. Okay? Funds are tight, but I'm going to buy something.
An iTone.
Yes. That's exactly what it'll be.
One economic unit.
And that is how I will save the economy.
It's a good plan. It's not the worst plan I've heard.
It's not a bad plan. Well, we are about at an hour. And it has. Well, I talked to Charles first, and then I called you. And after I talk for an hour, I am socially exhausted and get brain dead and start talking about Glenn Beck setting himself on fire. My inner fantasies come out.
That's what the people need to hear in times like these.
I hope so.
You're doing a good service.
It's what I need to do. it's good to socially exhaust yourself. And Gina, it's been great hearing from you.
It's been really great talking to you too, Brian. I'm really glad you called and asked me what I've been doing.
Yeah, I'll check in some more soon.
All right, sounds good.
Have a great day. Good luck with the pen business, and don't cook anymore.
Okay.
Make them cook. All
All
right.
right.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Okay. That was really fun. I feel better. I was so politically angry, but I'm just gonna call my supervisor, and I'm gonna call my city supervisor, county supervisor. I don't know. I'm gonna call a bunch of people and tell them that they can't evict anybody, not under my watch, and maybe that'll make me feel better too. But this really makes me feel better. Hope everybody's doing good. Bye.